G'day and welcome back to Semen Retention. Let's go. Hope you all, my brothers, are going well on your journey. And I just want to make this as an opportunity to open the invitation to my sisters out there that might want to be practicing a bit of self-preservation as well. Because as Semen Retention grows and expands, I want to also open the door for this idea to be passed on to our fellow sisters that want to elevate the consciousness of this planet. I think it has become a realization for me that, as they say on Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. And I think men have always been the leaders. We've always led our families. We've always led societies, all that kind of stuff. And it's important for us to make women feel confident within themselves and welcome within certain aspects of our, cultures and our educational, structures. And I'm talking about semen retention here being like an educational structure with an overarching branch or umbrella, which we call celibacy, right? So what I want to say here is, to all my sisters, welcome to Semen Retention as this channel starts to talk about self-preservation, celibacy, and becoming our best version of ourselves. So, welcome. Today, I want to talk about something a little bit different. If you guys caught my live stream this week, it was pretty full on. It was entertaining. I had a couple of, or maybe more than a couple, but there was a few kind of real trolls that were just on my tail and really nipping at my toes, and I couldn't help but fight back because honestly, I feel like that's what you want to do. You gotta hit it hard. You gotta go hard back at them. And I'll get to the point where I just ignore it and stuff. But I think that's part of the fun aspect of being live and being in the in the heat of it. You get into these kind of alterations and stuff with people. Online altercations, I should say, sorry. And it's one of those things that, just enhances the experience. It shows you my real unhinged kind of personality. And I think, that's me when I'm heated. And I still held my ground. I didn't say anything too bad. There were probably some things that I maybe regret saying, but also I don't regret being me in the moment. I'm trying to spread a positive message here and, get my friends, or not my friends, but you people out there, on your best version, on the best timeline, on the best frequency that you can become. So with all that being said, today I want to talk about on semen retention or celibacy in general, self-preservation. You ain't gonna be doing any goofy shit. That's right. I'll say it again. When you're on self-preservation, you ain't going to be doing any goofy shit, right? So what is goofy shit? Well, goofy shit is making a fool of yourself, acting like a clown, just kind of advertising yourself as a jester. I just saw 333 in the timeline. Just give us a like or a comment if you enjoy my videos. So goofy stuff, I find that it's almost like a test from the Matrix. I find that every time I put myself out there, being a musician, when I put myself out there as an artist, my artist alias is completely different to my normal musician alias. My artist alias is, it's a real super ego, right? It's a real full, fiery, kind of charged, energetic version of myself, and I can live up to that, but I am actually a pretty chill person in my day-to-day life. But that charged energy is just me, and when I'm playing music, I want to feel alive, I want to feel bright, I want to feel hot and shining like a star. That's how I like music. Okay, I looked up to people like Freddie Mercury from Queen. I'm a big fan of Daniel Johns from Silverchair. I love Muse. I love Nirvana. I love Jeff Buckley. I'm pretty broad spectrum with a lot of things, like even pop singers like Teddy Swing, Harry Styles, all that kind of stuff. There's cool singers out there, and they're eccentric, right? Everyone's got a different personality, right? So part of being an artist on Semen Retention is being unapologetically yourself. And for me, that means my alias, which is called Mars in Leo, that is very honest, raw, real, and a little bit aggressive and kind of sexual as well. Like, in a sense that it's flirtatious more so than luring and lustful, okay? It's a bit tongue in cheek. There's a bit of humor about it. Like, and when I say humor, I mean like, you giggle. It's cute. It's flirty. It's having fun, right? So that is just my charged up personality. Is it me every single minute of the day? No. But where the goofy shit comes in is when people stop thinking about the purpose of what they're trying to channel their sexual energy into, and they start thinking about the results or the quantitative aspects of, their pursuit or project. Okay. So I'll give you an example. Let's say you're a musician and you've got 12 subscribers on YouTube and you've got like 20 streams on your song. Okay. Maybe you just need to continue to release music and practice the craft of writing and releasing music, okay? It's just that simple. Being honest with yourself, learning new skills as you develop. Maybe when you're 50 years old, something will click. Maybe when you're 21, maybe when you're 14, who knows? Maybe you're a freak. Maybe you're like a unnaturally good child prodigy and you just completely blow everyone out of the water. But at the end of the day, everyone's got their own kind of path, and there is no real kind of definition of a success, especially in an industry that is mostly kind of manipulated through advertising and marketing, right? So the goofy shit actually comes in as a result of people striving for quantitative outcomes. Like, for example, maybe they want to have more streams or more subscribers. So they start doing cringy kind of things on the internet. Like, for example, maybe they make a reel that is just kind of really idiotic. And you know that this person's a professional musician, but you know that they're also trying to create content that is for the lower denominator kind of, lowest common denominator type shit where it's just like slapstick humor, right? But it's not in a way that's kind of genius, like someone like Mr. Bean, Rowan Atkinson, It's not like that. It's just like kind of like Eric Andre humor, where it's just like really bizarre and stupid, and just like it's like this guy's acting like an idiot. It's like Eric Andre. That's what he's doing, right? That's his thing, is to completely be absurdist, right? If your music is, maybe it's a bit deeper, maybe there's some kind of interesting stories that you want to portray in your music, maybe there's some insights you want to give to your listeners and allow them to think through these things that you're projecting, through your music and your lyrics. All that kind of stuff is important to stay in line with your purpose. And, that's why we practice things like semen retention or self-preservation for all you ladies that are watching now, is that we want to stay classy, okay? I'm just gonna say it. It's classy. It's just being, real, I don't know, just being real, not stoic, but you're being really graceful in your actions. So when I think about like a classic singer, especially like a female singer, I think of someone like Celine Dion. She has a great sound, Whitney Houston's like her songs and her lyrics and stuff have beautiful sounds and all that kind of stuff. For men, I think of people like Roy Orbison, Elvis, all these kind of songs and these sounds that they make with their voice that just sound like, oh, that sounds very pure and heartfelt, okay? And putting all aside the kind of weird stuff that goes on in the popular music industry, put all that aside, these guys in their professional lives upheld an image that was professional. It was classy, it had grace. Whereas these days, musicians who are starting out, I think they're trying too hard to appeal to the viral trends or to be a viral trend, to be a pioneer, to be someone that, creates some new trend. But if you look at some of the most popular and most famous artists, they haven't always been pioneers. They didn't start off as a pioneer. They started off as someone that did something that someone else had done before and did it their own way. And then eventually over time, they added more and it became their own thing. And then they've created this whole new thing through the process of discovery, okay? They weren't distracting themselves by doing goofy things. They weren't distracted by trying to come up with TikTok dances. They weren't distracted by doing kind of mockery of, I guess, ideas and stuff that, certain collectives have. Like, so for example, if you're a musician and you record music on a low budget, maybe someone out there wants to do a reel about how, you can record music on a low budget, and they start doing stupid things rather than just being kind of real and showing people how to actually do things on a low budget. And that for me is just one of those things where it's like, I would never do that kind of stuff. Has the thought crossed my mind whilst I've been on self-preservation, semen retention kind of journey? Yes, it has. I have thought about doing some goofy shit. But I think there is also just this kind of, this holding down the fort type energy where it's as much as I get pushed by the winds of, persuasion and of goofiness, I never succumb to it. And it feels good to be in that position. It feels good to be able to kind of let those thoughts and feelings and ideas pass through me rather than, take control of me and I do something that now people are going to look at my reputation as someone that does goofy shit. And you can also put this down to things like not just your professional life, but like how you out there integrated in social settings. So, for example, last night I was at an open mic and this guy, not only did he smell like, I don't know, he just smelled like shit. But the amount of shit that came out of his mouth, well, that stuff stunk more than his breath. So like that, it was just that kind of nonsensical stuff. And I found that a lot of the guys, not a lot of the guys, but there was the kind of like a group of people at that open mic that go every single week and they drink and they smoke a lot of weed and whatnot, and they just talk so much shit that I just get to the point where I'm like, this is boring. Like, it's actually boring to listen to people talk absolute nonsense. Like, I don't understand how people can spend a whole night just getting, emptying their bank accounts on alcohol, just talking absolute rubbish. Like it that itself is actually kind of funny if you think about it. But as a way to live, it's goofy as fuck. I mean, I don't know, guys. I think this retention journey is just made me feel a little bit more like locked in. I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to I don't want to hang around people that have no real drive or motivation in life and just want to kind of, talk nonsense, and do goofy things and put on personas or act in certain ways to kind of show how, they don't take life seriously at all. It's almost like these guys, because they're so drained, they don't understand how to hold themselves together. So in an act of anxiety and kind of, if you guys are new to semen retention or self-preservation, it's those fluids, that Kundalini effect reduces anxiety. Yeah, it does cause some anxiety kind of palpitations and stuff at times when the energy is really high. But overall, it anchors you down and you remain grounded and very relaxed. So I guess what I notice in these people is because they're depleted, I think their nervous system is saying, I'm in a fight or flight mode and I don't want to get in a fight. So what I'll do is I'll avoid addressing the issue, which is the fact that I am depleted and feel uncomfortable, and I'll partake in things such as drinking and alcohol and talking nonsense to divert from the fact that I am in a susceptible kind of position to be taken out. Okay, that sounds really weird, but basically what I'm saying is that Akuma, because of their reduced, semen or sexual fluids and all that kind of stuff, they're like a pest that is squirming under lights in the nighttime. It's like a little rat that's running away from a light. It knows that if the light shines on them, they're going to be taken out. By the way, I don't condone any violence to animals on this channel at all. And the point is that these people have to resort to the substances, to the talking nonsense, because they don't want to address the actual issues that they haven't faced. And the reason why they haven't faced them is that they haven't gained the courage from the retention, from the self-preservation. They haven't gained the insight. They haven't done the introspection and all that kind of stuff. Okay, guys, it's been 17 and a half minutes. Thank you so much for tuning in to Semen Retention. I'm going to try and keep this flow going. I'm really liking these videos at the moment. I like this little mic. It reminds me of a chicken that I used to have. All right, have a good day, and I'll see you in the next video. Catch up.